Hello and welcome to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick. Alongside me is Dane Baird, Marco Barbonet operating the cameras and bringing you this stream tonight. We're here for meeting 5 out of 6 of the season. It's the penultimate meeting of the season, and we're really getting into crunch time for this inaugural Porsche Cup Championship. Dave, it's a pretty epic end to the season we have. It started off pretty well with Alton Park at Imola and Okayama, but then Montreal last week, we got Spa and Interlagos to round out the championship. And this Spa circuit, one of the most legendary, obviously, out in the world. It's one of the drivers' favourites, consistently voted as the favourite circuit on iRacing, and will be a good challenge for these Porsche Cup cars, which should run very well around here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of my favourite car and track combinations of the lot. Very tricky circuit in iRacing Spa because of the very interesting track limits that they have around here. Very strict track limits, and it's very easy to get a penalty, which these drivers can do. And yeah, they're just out for qualifying now, but it's a very tricky circuit, especially Eau Rouge Raidillon. As we see, sometimes it is pretty flat out in quite a few cars now. But yeah, not in this car. You've got to really hit on the brakes or lift very early into the corner, and it's very difficult on exit over the crest at Raidillon as well.
Absolutely, don't pick up a slow, don't pick up a 1x, and like you're saying, the off-tracks are very tricky round this circuit. Hopefully we can bring you the championship order so far this season. And it's been a pretty competitive championship, plenty of different race winners so far, but after missing the opening round of the championship, Nick Madsen is currently leading the way. He's on 321 points. And considering that he missed the opening meeting of the season, he's still got the most points of anyone else. Plus, you have the drop score. Madsen is looking very tricky to beat this season. Lewis Ward was a good challenger for him. He also missed the first meeting of the season, but has been mega consistent ever since then. I got a podium as well a couple of meetings ago. Unfortunately, he's not here, Lewis Ward. He's got a hardware failure, and so Bob Humphrey, who's led this championship on the most part, he is the next challenger to Nick Madsen. Roberto Ferrari, who brought himself into championship contention at Montreal, but I think crashed out from the lead. He's in 4th place. Next, Max Wolf in 5th. Salvador Line in 6th, and Kev Copeland top of the amateur. Jersey should be able to bring you the amateur standings as well. And Kev Copeland, who of course won season 2 in the Apex Racing League GT Championship in the amateur category, and he is winning that as well. Look at that lead, 90 points. He can pretty much sew up tonight over his own teammate Joseph Saul. Tim Perry in 3rd place in that championship. Daniel Manzana, despite starting very well, had a very good Imola. Did Manzana, hasn't been able to keep it up, and he's currently in 4th. Daniel Payam in 5th. And in the teams championship, Pro Drive Esports currently have the advantage over the rest, 534 points occupied for them. Pro Academy Sim Sports in 2nd place for that one, about 50 points difference. Could still close up. Pro Academy, of course, are Kev Copeland and Joseph Saul. But yeah, could still close up between those two teams, so keep an eye out on all those drivers. So the drivers are currently in a 10-minute qualifying session. They can set as many laps as they want because this is a very long circuit, so they'll probably only get in the 2 laps, potentially, even if they're very quick out of the pits. I think 2 laps might be the extent. Maybe they could edge in a 3rd if they are really quick about it. Kent Nielsen currently top of the standing. He was another late entry. We've got plenty of drivers who have only joined this series midway through the championship. I think 10 since round 3 and about 15 joined after round 1. And Nielsen has been one of the best qualifiers since he joined. Also Casper Lund as well, going to be very dangerous in qualifying. Schlack's currently doing very well in 2nd place, but just these first laps in, and I've done some racing rounds here, Dane, in the last week or so, and on the first lap is pretty much a throwaway. You can guarantee to be half a second faster on your 2nd lap compared to your 1st lap. So even if you're not on the pace in this 1st lap, you can still got plenty of advantage to come later on.
Absolutely, and that is not the line at all. in the number 218 car there, running very wide into the bus stop. Something interesting to note is that for whatever reason the official schedule is using the classical pits, which means turn 1 is going to be Eau Rouge, which is going to be interesting, to say I think the very least.
The other Apex Racing League admin, Mr. Lee Thompson, I had a bit of a debate with on this matter because in the championship that I won, which I don't really talk about enough, but I did win a championship once, but it's not about me. But in that championship, we used this historic pits, and the start is crazy. And in every single race, we had a 20-car pilot. This was in the Radicals, the most brutal car in iRacing. So obviously, a lot of people died. And in fact, out of I think 36 races that season, I retired from 2. That was one of them. So that was absolutely crazy. So expect a mess, and all the races that I've taken part of it in the official series have been chaos through Eau Rouge. So unfortunately, we have followed the official series. So that will be interesting. And of course, also it's like a 10-degree gradient downhill, so it's a bit of a different start as well. But qualifying could be important because it's not a long run down into the first couple of corners.
Want to get through those corners though, you got the Camel Straight, quite a long one. Just got a couple of drivers heading down there now. 8 minutes gone in qualifying, the 2-minute 20 lap. It doesn't look like any more drivers.
Ooh,
Oh,
I don't know.
maybe.
Looks like Nielsen is a quarter of the way through. You might just make it, but it'll be tight.
No one can start a new lap. A couple of drivers going off track. Wadsworth has seemingly had a bit of an excursion. Down in 12th for Pete. And yeah, he's just dived down into the pit lane. He'll take no further part in qualifying. Let's see. Normally, this is the final corner. I'm going to have to train my brain over the course of the event. They're not going to cross the line now. They're going to go through the source, which is now the final corner, and then head down the old pit straight. This is very odd. I don't know if I like this. I don't think I do. Yeah, and then down the old pit straight. Luckily, the drivers don't have to do any pit stops. At least they hope they don't have to do any pit stops, because it means something's gone wrong. But yeah, that pit entry is a pretty difficult one at the old pit stop there.
Yeah, they'll want to avoid that one. It's still Nielsen and Lund then at the top. Nielsen with the advantage of 20.23 is absolutely lightning part. I haven't seen anyone do a 19 this week, so that's pretty much as fast as you can get this Porsche Cup car around here, and that's quite a big difference. It is a long lap, but quite a spread amongst the field, which is a little bit unusual. 3 seconds from first down to 20th, which is a bit strange. Ferrari having one of his best qualifyings of the season. He's currently in 3rd place, and he's still got 20 seconds to go, so he will cross the line here. Is it going to be good enough? I don't think he set any personal best sectors, so I doubt this will be anything impressive from Ferrari. And yeah, it's not any improvement. He stays in 3rd. Lauer moves up into 8th position, though, former podium sitter this season. And Walker also moves up into 9th. Also, I don't think we have the stripes up currently for the classes, as Lan puts himself up in 3rd place. That's a great qualifying. But so we'll try to get those stripes up for you to indicate who's the pro and who's the am. As we are about to grid up for this race 1 of the evening. And it's Kevin Nielsen on pole position again, just as he was at Montreal. He's a good qualifier. It's an Access Sim Sports 1-2 on the grid as well. Salvador Lansar's in 3rd place with that late effort. Then it's a couple of Italians behind him, Roberto Ferrari and Michael Schlach. Then it's 2 more Danish drivers. Gosh, absolutely. The nations have come out today. We've got 2 nations up in the top 7. Madsen and Burke. Burke in his first meeting of the season. Then it's Philip Lauer, Logan Walker, Daniel Manzano, top of the amateur drivers. Good work from Manzano there. Then it's Bob Humphrey, Pete Wadsworth, Angelo De Chillis, Ivo Lauscher, Mark Correa in his debut. Tim Pace lines up in 16th. Good qualifying actually for Perry there. Then it's Mark Jones, Kev Copeland, Joseph Saul, Paul Doman, Brian Kroon in his first race, John Tressida, Daniel Payham, Trevor Humphrey, Vince Harley, Daniel Parmley, Alok Iyengar, Thor Tulay, Oscar Wilkins out of position, Luke Maxwell out of position, Max Wolf out of position, Ivan Harasta out of position, and Jack Reeve and Cody McKnight rounding out this 34-car field. And so, there could be quite a few overtakes from the drivers further back. Are we expecting any trains here, Dane, or do you think the top two might be able to pull away as they did at Montreal?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Definitely not for the first couple of laps, I think. We won't see any drivers pulling away. At least we hope not. We hope for some nice close racing. As the drivers all the way down to the source in the background. Lots of drivers on the grid for the first of the races. Madsen, as always, dropping in with a couple of seconds to go as we are ready to race.
Yeah, here we go then. I think there might be one vacant place. Mark Carrere not taking the start, but we're about to get underway for race one of the evening. Oh, it's a poor start for the 127 and bursting through is the 190 of Roberto Ferrari. So Michael Schlack's bursting through the middle. The top two though, the AXA Sim Racing Jazz have got through cleanly. Walker is on the second. That's going to be a huge slowdown as anyone else had a collision further back. Walker's going to lose a bunch of positions, so they've got to be careful as they move past him. 4, maybe even 5 wide further down the order. Nielsen versus Lund though, and Lund trying to take the lead early on here. It's Nielsen staying ahead. Behind that, Schlacks with an awesome start up into third place. Was a fantastic launch for him. Poor start for Salvador Lund. Fantastic end to the qualifying for him, but he's moved down 3 places. And Nick Madsen, championship leader, in 5th place. He just needs to keep it safe tonight. Outscore Bob Humphrey if he possibly can, and that is a secure start for the Danish driver. He remains in 5th.
Absolutely, all the drivers pretty cleanly filing through this first sector. Into the middle sector they go then. And it looks like the two drivers at the front, the two Danes, have decided to pull away a little bit. I was hoping we weren't going to see this, but all the drivers behind them going side by side through a Rouge and Radio at the start really allowed them to get away. And let's see if they can try and bridge up that gap for Schlacks and Ferrari just behind them, the two Italians. And yeah, we'll just have to wait and see for that. Looks like Madsen in 5th position to got his teammate just a couple of positions ahead of him. So I think they're going to try and work together as well. As soon as Madsen can try and get past Ferrari, although Ferrari's done really well here at Spa so far in qualifying, at least, and at the start of the race, not too bad at all. And we're going to come up towards Blanchemont now. One of the more difficult cars to take Blanchemont in. You want to take it flat, but you really have to get on the brakes and slow it down because the car loves to understeer, as we see there. That's more like Spa 24 hours track limits.
Yeah, Burt going wide. Madsen's going to try to get past Ferrari here. Ferrari having to go defensive. Defensive well, Madsen. Pretty aggressive driver. And of course, remember, he's got a championship lead. Hasn't finished off the podium so far, Madsen. Missed the first meeting, then he got 3 wins on the trot, and since then he's got 3 third positions on the trot. So he's tricky to beat. Is Nick Madsen, very top driver. At the moment, he's a little bit out of position. Schlacks doing a great job in 3rd place. Qualified all right, did Schlacks last time at Montreal. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the coaching box, but he only finished in 17th and 24th positions, I believe. Did Schlacks had some issues come the race. It was Montreal, so incidents were going to be aplenty. And yet today, he's almost bridged the gap. It's 8/10 of a second. Meanwhile, behind Madsen and Ferrari alongside. And are we going to see a change of position? Looks like Madsen has been able to get ahead of his rival. And he moves up into 4th position. Nice move just behind them, Lahn and Berg. That's Berg going for a move, and a bit of contact between the two of them. Lahn keeps that position, but Berg trying to join his 2 teammates who are leading this race. It's got a bit of catching up to do though.
Absolutely. Currently sitting down in 7th. There's not really any more overtaking opportunities until you reach the bus stop, really. Down the long back straight through Blanchemont into the bus stop is one of the better overtaking opportunities, and of course into Les Combes after the Kemmel Straight being another. The La Source not really being an overtaking opportunity here because these cars have very little draft, and unless the driver in front of you makes a tremendous mistake, it's very difficult to get close enough into that corner. But we've got Manzano now, as we can see, the AM class on the left-hand side on the timing tower now. Manzano is leading, and he's got a bit of a gap behind to Wadsworth, who is a couple of cars behind.
Yeah, and he needs to keep an eye on Copeland. He needs to massively outscore Copeland, take a big chunk out of his championship lead if he's going to have any chance when we get to Interlagos next time out. Again, they're all off the circuit behind. They will get a drive through once they get to 16 incidents, and then they'll get another drive through for every incident after that. So, and in a 20-minute race, this first race, 30-minute race later on, they're in the window for potentially getting a penalty. So watch out for that. In the official series, I did pick up a drive-through penalty. I will say I was hit off twice, so that was 8 techs easy. But it is possible to get one. Oh no, we got a crash at the doors, and that is Burke and Lan and Humphrey as well having to go off the circuit. Oh, and we've got another one, and that's almost a track blockage. Are they all going to be able to take evasive action behind? I think they've towed back to the pits, which was, well, at least one of them did tow back to the pits. That's a bit of an unsafe rejoin in the background. But that was a real mess up, and Wadsworth, I think, was unlucky in that. Didn't get into the pits either, as we've got a massive train of cars here. Oh, this is Lauscher defending against Chilis. Humphrey went off the circuit at La Source to avoid that incident. And look at that, down the inside for the 133. And that was almost very ambitious there from Tim Perry. I think that was the 223, sorry, of Perry. And he moves up into second place in that class as well. It's all come to a boil on this third lap of the race. And good defence there from Tchilis to remain in 8th place. But he's got Lauscher all over the back of him, but with big damage to Lauscher.
Absolutely, he was caught up in that incident earlier on. Looks like there might be something happening further down the field. Walker was off track for a long time, and he's dropped down a good few positions. But I don't think he's got back running, it seems. Maybe something happened into the comp, but he was dropping down the timing tower and off the track. I think we might get a replay of it now. We're getting a replay of that earlier incident then. Looked like Salvaran losing it, which caused the initial contact, and then pulls across to let everyone by and takes out poor Pete Wadsworth.
So here we go. I thought, well, that's Burke going down the inside. Always a little bit of Burke's fault as well. The door's open, but then, yeah, you're absolutely right, Lan pulling across, and that was unnecessary. So perhaps penalties for these drivers later on there. It was so dangerous for drivers to come back onto the track. There was nothing that they could really do. Of course, you're out of the peripheral vision, and yep, a couple more instances, and then that's how Lauscher got ahead, but then he did lose it straight after to Tchilis. However, Tchilis hasn't been able to break the draft to Lauscher. He's staying well in range at the moment as they reach the GP pits once again. Humphrey up into 10th position now. He's got away from that mainly unscathed. Remember, second place in the championship after today with the with Ward unfortunately not being able to attend today's meeting. So Humphrey wants a good result. He's probably Madsen's main challenger for this championship. He needs to do better though than this 10th place.
Absolutely, he definitely does. And that's not a very happy looking car as we ride on board with Lauscher, looking back at Bob Humphrey, who was beaten by his father last time out at Montreal. I can imagine that Trevor Humphrey would have loved that. The two Humphrey driving the double hump racing, as Peter Mackay pointed out to me 2 weeks ago, that it's double hump because there's two Humphreys. And somehow I managed to go 3 rounds of this championship without noticing that. But oh, we've got side-by-side action. This is EM trying to get, oh no, it was Doman trying to get ahead of Pearman, and it worked out. 234 driver now ahead.
Yeah, lots of amps in a row there. Trevor Humphrey, by the way, I was speaking to Trevor and Bob a few days ago, and apparently he's a very good driver on Project Cars. Hasn't quite hasn't quite adapted to iRacing yet, but very competitive on Project Cars. So maybe a little bit of room for improvement. He is in 23rd position at about half a minute off the race lead, 8 minutes into the event. There is Tim Perry. He's onto the back of Humphrey now. So I thought Humphrey would be past Lauscher too there with the damage that Lauscher's got. But instead he's falling into the clutches. Apologies, this is paid for Wilkins. Apologies for that. I'm like David Croft, aren't I? And to Pay keeping behind Wilkins, who was well out of position on the grid, up 16 places of Wilkins. Wolf behind him, it's up 17 places. Remarkable gains for the pair.
Absolutely. More track limits extending at Francorchamps. I definitely expect to see quite a few drivers heading down into that dodgy pit entrance for some drive-through penalties. Perry trying to get the cut back on Wilkins there. Not quite working out, and the source is not an easy pace to overtake. He's got to watch out for Max Wolf as well, just behind. He's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Wolf is now on his inside as they head down the main straight. Oh, look at that's in the background. That looks like Saul. It is. There he is. Oh dear, who was that? That was Doman, losing the rear end, almost collecting Payham as well. And there is, it looks like Ivan Harasta making up a couple of positions as well.
Yep, nice job there for Ivan. Running a very good livery out there tonight. Humphrey versus Deche. So Humphrey... Oh, so Lauscher is ahead of these guys now, so that's a nice move there from Lauscher. Don't know how he's got straight line speed, Lauscher. Straight line speed is very important now. I thought he'd be down and out, but he's done really well. Must be a sitting duck down the straight, and he's just been able to overtake someone down the straight. Humphrey, though, is right with them. Wilkins past Wolf, and of course dropping down was Perry. So top 12 now, besides Manzano, all pro drivers. Harasta off the circuit, and maybe it was that curse from Mr. Dane Baird, which has proved to be their downfall.
Let's have a look then. Oh, just maybe clips the outside curb. I've done that a couple times. And yeah, that's him off the circuit. Keeps out of the wall though, and he'll carry on with very little damage indeed. Laubscher doing an absolutely brilliant job, and he's actually extending his very small lead ahead of the Chillister.
Try and get an onboard with the Chillis, because I keep on talking about myself. I am a very self-centered person. But when I was racing earlier in the week, I got a little bit of bonnet damage, and it was so annoying down the straight. I really felt like I was sitting duck. But to be fair to Lauscher, he's not being caught that much by the Chillis down the straight. So of course a little bit of that is going to be in the toe. So it may be affecting him a bit, although the Chillis needs to go through Blanchard a bit better than they might have to go defensive against Humphrey here. He just opens up the corner. They've got Wilkins and Wolf, who are behind them. Wilkins, one of the most competitive drivers in the series. Wolf as well, high up in the standings. And so if Humphrey's going to keep those guys behind, his best bet is to get past Lauscher, is to get past the Chillis now. Tries to pull away. Aston Lee haven't checked in on these guys for a little bit. Nielsen leading by 1.2 seconds over Lund. And Schlack's a very honest third place, but just slipping back from the pair them still.
Yep, a little bit of a gap beginning to brew at the top. As that is Trevor Humphrey. Now what has happened to the driver of the number 220 car, the old Git as it says on his rear wing? Oh, he's just got caught out by that bump on the inside. There goes Ivan Harasta and someone else in the background as well. They got stopped by his side through a rouge, and I think Ivan Harasta has lost out big time. He's still off the circuit. He's in the wall.
That was not going to end well. What's the prelude to this incident? So this is Trevor Humphrey then, and then Harasta's gone down the inside, gets alongside almost even before the corner started, and Harasta just trying to get any kind of turn in whatsoever. Just moves us slightly to the right, maybe Humphrey was moving slightly to the left. And they both end up badly from it. Well, I say Trevor Humphrey's ended up badly from it. It's not too bad for him. He's in 24th place without too much damage. I don't know how he managed to get away with that one. Humphrey into the clutches of Wilkins now. Got the Norwegians and the Italians doing very well. Apologies to the Danes and the Italians doing well out in the leads. Keep on getting that wrong. But we've got a couple of Dutch drivers as well doing well at the back. Very few Brits. I mean, for all our other ARL series, we've got so many Brits up at the front. In this series, they're letting us down, and Bob Humphrey, the top of them. at the moment. He's having to go kind of defensive. He can't really go around the outside here, but he will put him slightly offline. It's losing them a lot of time. Picks up a 1x there. Humphrey feeling like it was worth picking up just to defend that position. And Wilkins pushing him offline again. Oh, this is losing them a lot of time. And look at Wolf as well. He's gone down the inside and nearly takes out his fellow countryman.
Yeah, these drivers are all very close together. Humphrey going for the defensive line, telling Wilkins, you're going to have to go all the way around me. A little bit of door banging between them. Wolf is going to try and go up the inside. He's made it stick. Look at that. Is he ahead? Yes, he is. And he pulls out in front. Now getting pushed down the pit straight. Let's see. Into Eau Rouge and Radion they go. I feel like Wilkins might lose a bit of downforce. He has. He's not going to pick up a slowdown penalty for that though. Just about on the limits then. And that is a pretty damaged car of Humphrey. And there goes Wolf down the inside. Is Wilkins going to join him? Yes, he is. Into the combat. Humphrey defends well, and he only loses one position. Wolf very sideways on the exit there, and Wilkins sends one down the inside. And the exit as well as they head down in towards the hairpin.
A bit deep on the brakes as well into the right-hander. Humphrey letting Wolf go a little bit easier. I don't think he wants to let Wilkins go. They've had a very good battle up to this point. And Wolf somehow finding himself back up into the top 10, up 21 places from his start. Still got 4 more minutes to go. Could still catch up to Chilis and maybe even Lauscher as well, because the Chilis has caught back up to Lauscher. So a little bit of downturn of pace for Lauscher, so perhaps Wolf could get a top 8, which would be an insane result for him. Wilkins just seems to be able to break away later. Remember, won a race already this season at Alton Park. Humphrey won race 2 at Okayama. So 2 race winners going at her. And Humphrey the one winning out at the moment. However, I do feel like this is just a matter of time for anything until Wilkins does get past, because Humphrey with that little bit of air downshifting is going to be suffering down the straights.
Absolutely, you can see it now. Look how much Wilkins is gaining. Goes to the outside, trying to go side by side through Blanchimont. That's not going to end well. Luckily, he pulls out. And now he's been shown the outside line for the bus stop. A little bit of contact in the braking zone. They're rubbing up against each other. Into the bus stop. Humphrey taking a very deep line there, giving no room at all to Wilkins, who runs a little bit wide, gets a bit loose. And there is Kev Copeland just behind as well. These two are going to have to watch out. Oh, and a little bit more contact between them in the braking zone. Humphrey really defending hard now. But they do have to watch out for the championship leader at the moment. Humphrey trying to push Wilkins into the pit lane almost there. And Wilkins finally gets the move done. Is Humphrey going to be able to come back at him now?
It's a pretty good run through Rouge and then Radion.
That's a brilliant run.
He's going to have to stay in the jump for a while, because once he pulls out, he's going to start getting too much drag. So he'll stay in the slipstream. Wilkins leaving absolutely nothing on the inside. Is there even going to be a little bit of a bump draft? Oh, Humphrey outbigs himself. Oh, this could be a move though. Locks up on the inside. They make contact again. Wilkins is going to be very tight into the next corner. Humphrey tries to get the car back, but he has a big old slide, and then Copeland goes into him. And Copeland, the amateur championship leader, well, I think he's got away without too much damage there. But that was really aggressive driving from the pair of them. And it's Wilkins who turns out correct. I don't think they either one pushed it too far, but Humphrey just getting a little bit overexcited on the power right at the end.
Absolutely, he's going to have a fair bit of damage here. You can see it there, both sides of the car. First on the left-hand side from the initial contact, and then on the right-hand side from the contact with the wall. Nielsen still leading. The gap between himself and Lund, his teammate behind, is decreased a little bit. Coming around the final few corners then. Still got 3 corners to go, and then he'll be starting the final lap of the race. The Chill is taking a wide line in the background. He's going to get a 1x, but just 1 corner to go now, and then they'll be on the final lap. And on their way to a 1-2 for Access and Sport.
And of course Nielsen won the 2 races at Montreal as well. So he will do a Madsen and win his first 3 races that he's taken parts in. Madsen as well, winning rounds 3, 4 and 5 on the championship. Nielsen 0.9 seconds ahead. You can see that gap's not coming down a whole lot, even with the draft, and so Nielsen should be home and dry now against his teammate Lund, Schlax and Madsen for MAG Performance Sim Racing. Just not with the competitiveness in this race, but however we will have a 10-car reverse grid for race 2, and that maybe was why Humphrey was fighting so hard, albeit it was for 11th by the time that Wolf was past him. But Max Wolf at the moment would be on pole position, which is frankly what you deserve if you gain 21 places in a race, that you get pole position in race 2. He's catching up to Chillis though, and Lauscher. I mean, if I was Wolf here, Dane, I'm not one for gaming the system, and because I kind of think, well, you know, theoretically it might be an advantage, but you know, what will be will be. You know, it won't necessarily be a better position to start on pole. I would just stay behind if possible. With the start that we have around this circuit, you can be a second clear by the time you get through Rading. I'll say, Wolf, I'd be staying in 10th place, get that reverse grid pole.
If we're going to talk about gaming the system, I'd try and get second, because the run down into the column is very long, and if you can get a good enough start, getting the draft of the leader, that is an easy first position for you in these cars. But yeah, these two drivers at the top then dominating. Look at that, 5 seconds between Nielsen and Schlax, and just a couple more corners to go for them until they will have got a 1-2 finish in race number 1 here today. They're going to cross the line in formation.
Yeah, Nielsen and Lund just got one more corner to complete, and they are soon going to be the race winners. Unfortunately, they're out of the championship hunt, even though they're going to absolutely take home a lot of points tonight, I'm sure. Missing the first 3 rounds does that to your chances, but they are going to take this race victory. Kevin Nielsen, sorry, and Casper Lund. It's a 1-2 for AXA Simsport. Nice work from them. Schlax rounds out the podium. Madsen finally finishes off the podium, but it's still 4th place, 1 step closer to the championship. And Zane is going to be top of the amateur drivers, and that might just give him a small bit of hope that he can catch Copeland in that championship. Meanwhile, who's going to be on reverse grid pole? It's going to be Lauscher in 8th. He hold off to Chillis. However, Wolf is catching, but it's only going to be 21 places gained for Wolf, not the 22. He will get reverse grid pole though, and that is a very strong position for a very strong driver. Perhaps one of the favourites for race 2. Payer, is he going to be able to hold off Bob Humphrey? Yes, he is. Humphrey with a frustrating day, and perhaps that's the end of his championship bid with only 3 races to go. Madsen, a surely insurmountable lead, and Ferrari also doing well, might be up into 2nd place in the championship now. Vince Hartley, one of the few drivers still to cross the line, and also John Chester, Thor Chile, and Ivan Harasta still to cross the line. But for the race 2, Dane, I think Wolf has got a very good chance. He's very good at getting through the orders, so I think the 292 might think he's already finished the race, but he hasn't. Wolf, I think, has got a very good chance. Also to Chillis as well, and Lauscher. Really could be an unpredictable race 2 coming up. Oh, Harley might lose out to Chester here. The crowd is going wild.
Oh, I think he's just about getting away with that one. Yes, he is. And just one driver left to finish the race then. We are waiting for Thor with his beaten up Porsche coming around the final corner, which should be the first corner, but we've already had that debate. That is a very unhappy looking Porsche. Round the final kink then, crosses the line to finish 26th.
By the way, the drivers who got... Oh no. Well, unfortunately, I've lost the data which says how many incidents someone got, but Thor did get 22, so he had to come through the pits, I think, to serve a drive-through. A couple of other drivers as well got drive-through, so that was only 20 minutes, 30 minutes coming up could be crazy. Kevin Nielsen then, winner for race 1, Casper Lund in second place, Michael Schlack's getting his first podium of the season in third, then was Nick Madsen, Roberto Ferrari, Philip Lauer, Daniel Manzano, top of the amateur drivers, then it's Ive Lauscher, Angelo De Chillis and Max Wolf claiming reverse grid pole. Then it was Oscar Wilkins, Brian Kroon, Kev Copeland, Tim Perry, Mark Jones, Joseph Saul, Daniel Payham, Paul Doman, Luke Maxwell, Daniel Parmalee, Alok Iyengar, Bob Humphrey, Trevor Humphrey, Vince Harley, John Tressida, Thor Shule was actually I think he got a post-race penalty, so he didn't serve his drive-through, so he finished 2 minutes 40 behind, ran a 2-minute 20 lap. There you go. Harasta was 1 lap down and still scores points. However, the drivers who don't score points are Cody McKnight, Pete Wadsworth, Logan Walker, Mateus Burke, Jack Reeve, Salvador Lan and Mark Correa. Correa didn't take the starts for some sorts of reason. Anyway, we are going to go to an advert here. This stream is broadcasted by Virtual Racing School. We thank them for their support, and David Williams is going to show you a little bit about the services that Virtual Racing School offer in this little trailer. So we'll be back with you in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship in just a moment.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. Thanks to VRS for their help on the stream, for sponsoring this broadcast. Big thanks to them, and of course do check them out at virtualracingschool.com. We are about to grid up for race 2 of the evening. It's going to be a little bit longer, 30 minutes in length, and we are just ticking over, so that's good timing. And we'll be able to go through your grid. It is Max Wolf on pole position for Indy Autosport. Angelo De Chillis lines up alongside. There's Ivo Lauscher, Daniel Manzano, top of the amateur judge. Could be a big points haul tonight for Daniel. Then it is Philip Lauer, Roberto Ferrari, Nick Madsen, Michael Schlax, Casper Lund, and race 1 winner Kevin Nielsen. Then it's behind that is Oscar Wilkins. He'll be dangerous from 11th. Brian Kroon starts in 12th. Then it is Kevin Copeland, Tim Perry, Mark Jones, Joseph Saul, Daniel Payham, Paul Doman, Luke Maxwell, Daniel Parmalee, Alok Iyengar, Bob Humphrey, Trevor Humphrey, Vince Harley, John Tressida, Thor Tule, Ivan Harasta, Cody McKnight, Pete Wadsworth, Logan Walker, Matthias Berg, Jack Reeve, Salvador Lane, and Mark Correa. We are just about to get the lights out as they do come on. And the second race of the evening at Spa is underway. Is it a strong start? No, it's not for the pole sitter. He's having to get out of the way of 4 or 5 cars going down to turn 1. De Chillis leads into Eau Rouge and Radion for the first time. Schlax ahead of Ferrari. And it's an awful start for Maxwell. He was in the right position, but just could not get the car off the line to start off. De Chillis out in the lead. The 146 of Lauscher going mega defensive against the rest of the order. He got 2 wide, about 5 deep, further back in the pack. Just trying to gain a few places there is Lund, who's up a couple of places from his start. Some drivers having to be forced offline at the moment. Manzano down into 7th from his P4 start. Lots of drivers missing the Lecumbe chicane. Good start for Trevor Humphrey up into 16th place. And also a good start for Mark Jones and Joseph Saul up 5 places each in 10th and 11th. The 218 of Wolf is having an absolute mare of a time. He's letting half the field go. The driver who gained 21 places in race 1, he's already lost 7 places in race 2, and he's trying to keep race 1 winner Kevin Nielsen behind him as well.
Absolutely, and look at that, dropping down the order. Oh, Manzano's hit that big curb. He's going to drop down a position now as well. Nielsen around the outside, and that is a good move from him. Wolf trying to make up a position as well. He's going to have to make up some positions now, try and compensate for the massive losses he's been having in this first lap so far. He's going to have to settle for 9th as they head into this back straight then. De Chillis still leads, Lauscher in 2nd, and then Lauer in 3rd. The 2 drivers that confused us in round 1 are back next to each other again. A couple drivers running wide, very wide for Schlax in 4th position there. You can see all the drivers in the background of the shot still going wide at Blanchimont as they head on to the GP start finish straight then, and up towards the source, the final corner. Lauscher has a look, making his presence known, and it looks like he's trying to get a good run down the main straight here. A couple drivers running wide still as they come to start lap number 2.
Yeah, Schlax keeping behind Lund with an awesome start, and he's being able to break away Nielsen, although Nielsen up into 7th as well. Those 2 looking to repeat their Montreal success. A little bit offline for Jones there, staying behind Saul. He's now 2nd place out of the amateur drivers, only a little bit behind Manzano. Copeland down into 12th. Remember, amateur championship leader, he needs to make sure that he finishes this race after not a great race 1. In order to protect his championship lead. 268 going down the inside of Copeland and Jones. And that was Jones winning that one out. Copeland might actually lose a position after all to Kroon, who is down 1 place from his start. Pro Academy Sim Sports driver just about keeping behind. Luke Maxwell as well in the mix as Parmalee and Tullow off the circuit. Also, Wolf and Manzano alongside, and that's Wolf gaining back 1 place at least. He's back up into 8th.
Absolutely, Lauscher still right on the back of De Chillis though. Going through Puron now. A couple drivers further back losing a couple of positions. That was Ferrari and Nielsen potentially going side by side there actually. Further back, but we're riding on board with Lauscher in 2nd position, looking ahead at Angelo De Chillis in the ProDrive Esport car. Let's see then, running as wide as you dare onto the AstroTurf, and running wide once again onto the back straight up the hill towards Blanchimont they go then. Laubscher trying to get into the draft. De Chillis trying to stop him from getting into the draft, almost bump drafting. Had to get on the brakes a little bit early, did Ivar Laubscher, and now up and towards the bus stop. Looks to the outside. Is he going to try and switch back to the inside? No, he's not. Side by side into the braking zone, all the way around the outside. There goes Schlax up the inside of Lauer as well. And Laubscher up into the race lead then. Who is going to get the better of the two exits? It looks like Laubscher has. Side drafting now. Laubscher, ooh, a little bit of a lunge there in the braking zone from De Chillis. A little bit loose on the brakes. Laubscher trying to hold it all the way around the outside. De Chillis holds onto the lead for now, but they're still side by side, and Laubscher had the better exit there.
Yeah, sure, De Chillis is going to have to back out of this one, even though I think he's a little bit aggrieved by his rival. Will he stick in it? No, he won't. And he's a little bit offline as well through Eau Rouge, so he'll be a little bit slow up Radion. Schlax and Lund right on his toe might be Lauer with a good chance here in the drafts of all of them. Here we go, 3 wide for second position. Oh, he moves across and there's contact between the lots of them. That was a miracle. They didn't have a massive collision, and we are going to have a massive collision this time, skating across the circuit, and it's Lund who's lost out, who was probably the favourite for the race when he got ahead of Nielsen. But his good work has been undone. I'm not sure whose fault that was. We'll try to get a replay of that soon. Nielsen though up ahead of Ferrari. He's had to work for that move. Let's see who it was then. So it was De Chillis who came across a little bit, then the 1-2-4. I think the 1-2-4 came across, to be honest. That was Lund's fault, if anything.
I would probably agree with you on that one. But probably have to make watch quite a few replays of that to try and work out. This is going to be a good one then. Perfect from our producer. De Chillis holding his line, I think they're just both trying to go for the same piece of tarmac. And Lund definitely turned across there. Unfortunately, that's put him down to 10th. And there is no more reverse grid, so 10th is definitely not where you want to be. But actually, sorry, he's in 9th, as we've got McKnight out of the race, currently sitting in 1st. It's just a bit of a gimmick with iRacing that when you tow to the pit lane, you tow forwards rather than tow backwards. So when you tow, you end up first on the timing tower until everyone passes you again. So Laubscher is leading the race with Schlax in 2nd. De Chillis is in 3rd. Then down to 10th position, who is currently Sol in 10th position there. But Schlax right on the back of Laubscher. So they come. Oh, look at this. Schlax with a pretty good exit. Now he's going to have the outside line into La Source.
That's a great run there for Schlax, and he's ahead. He leads the race, our 4th different leader so far. Albeit, Wolf didn't lead for any more than 5 metres off the line. De Chillis still somehow in 3rd place. And Nielsen up into 4th position. He's got past Lauer as well on this lap. Nielsen looking like he could get another double, which would be an insane achievement if he could do that. What's happening with Madsen at the moment? Where is Madsen? So Madsen's actually out of the race, I believe. Championship leader, remember. He's got a pretty big lead, so it shouldn't be too bad for him. But championship leader, I think, out of the race at the moment. Meanwhile, Nielsen up into 3rd position. He has got past De Chillis, and it just looks like there's no stopping Kevin Nielsen. I think Schlax might be able to put up a battle against him. He wasn't much slower in race 1, but Kevin Nielsen absolutely storming along. These are good drivers that he is passing with absolute ease at the moment. So this is what happened to Madsen then. Apologies that we missed this. Remember, Madsen, the championship leader, and he didn't actually start the race, which is an odd one. He disconnected. It wasn't anything to do with anything like that. So a couple of other drivers as well. Froome didn't take the start. I think Perry may have not been able to take the start either. So big shame there for Nick Madsen. He wasn't able to take part in this race, and that will make the championship lead a little bit smaller to Roberto Ferrari.
Oh dear. Well, he's actually, should have said, done a good job of holding on to that. Very easy to find yourself in the gravel trap, and once you're in the gravel trap on iRacing, the Porsche Cup car, that becomes a straight line into the barrier. So he's done a good job to keep that one out of said barriers. But Nielsen up into third then. And he's catching this lead pack now. A track extending at Blanchimont. Story of the day, just under 10 minutes of the race gone, which means we still have over 20 minutes of the race to go. Drivers really pushing these track limits. I think we're going to see quite a few drivers heading down into the pit lane for a drive-through penalty. Nielsen now just over a second behind the leader.
Yeah, he's catching quite significantly. 21.5 push laps on that last lap. And meanwhile, Nielsen with a 20.3, which is not far off what his qualifying lap was. That is how quick he is. That's insane pace from Kevin Nielsen. If he started the season, he'd definitely be favourite for the championship. Meanwhile, Lund is on the recovery path. He's managed to get up into 7th place, a little bit under my nose. I haven't seen him make any of those moves. He did drop down to as low as 9th place, of course, after an incident earlier on. And he's now up another place, up into 6th position. Saul versus Maxwell. So Saul's lost 1 place then to Maxwell. And also Trevor Humphrey there just going past Sule. But yeah, Saul in 11th place. Yeah, he's just lost out that one to Maxwell. And he's now got his teammate Kevin Copeland behind him. Manzana at the moment not outscoring Copeland by a big amount, but Copeland still needs to make sure that he finishes this race just to get the points he needs to get a bit closer to the amateur time zone.
Absolutely, he definitely does. Nielsen now just peaking around that 1 second mark. About 0.3 of a second behind Ivo Laubscher in 2nd. And yeah, we're still 20 minutes left to go. Nielsen very much on for a 2nd win then here at Spa, which would be mightily impressive.
Yeah, that'd be 4 from 4. He'd take the most amount of race wins this season, despite the fact that he didn't do the first half of the season. And he won't be far off the top positions. I mean, he's not going to win this championship, Nielsen, but he might be in the top 10 despite missing the first half of the season. He's up into 2nd place now. Laubscher didn't put up much of a fight. Meanwhile, Lauer versus... apologies, this is Wolf versus Lund, so surely Lund will be past Wolf. Wonder what Wolf could have done if he hadn't have had that dreadful start. I think he'd be up there with the race leaders right now. Instead, he's going to be overtaken by Lund for a 2nd time. And there he goes. That's a poor line as well for Wolf. And he's like past Ferrari as well. He's up into 6th place. Ferrari looks as though he might take another 40 points out of Nick Madsen's lead in the championship. And that gap was about 100 points going into today. So still a bit more for him to gain. But good effort from Roberto tonight. Wolf with the toe. The 1-2-4. I can't quite get across. Wolf a bit deeper on the brakes. Maybe Ferrari just lifting out of the brake pedal slightly to make sure that he carried a bit more momentum into the corner. And he stays ahead. Behind them is Manzano. He's held his own since dropping down earlier on. What's Saul doing? He's up in 5th place. Oh no, sorry, you just changed the standings. Well, Marco Balvenier just saying how I wasn't wrong. I genuinely thought Saul was up in 2nd place overall for a second there. And then I realised that he changed it to all the amateur drivers instead. He's totally misjudged that one. Unfortunately for him, he at least doesn't take out his own team.
Yeah, and a couple of drivers getting past him then. But yeah, that was pretty close for him to take out his own teammate, currently leading the championship as well as his teammate. Kev Copeland as well. So that would have been... disastrous if that had to happen. But he's now got Ivan Harasta, Kev Copeland and Kroon ahead of him in that little train for 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the amateur race standings. Here is Wolf with the driver in 1st in the AM standings right now is Manzano.
the reason why Saul crashing into his team came to mind was because Copeland crashed into Humphrey earlier on, whilst not being under the same team name in this race. They are under, they do race for the Evo SR Pro Academy Sim Sports team. So that was effectively the same thing. So we don't want Copeland to have another incident with the teammates later on as well. But yeah, there is Wolf, and he's really falling into the clutches of Manzano. He's having one of his best meetings of the season, probably is his best meeting of the season. Had a great Imola, actually. Yeah, this is probably even better, I think, for him at the moment to get a top 10 there. Looks like he's going to get a top 10 tonight as well. The Cheers onto the back of Maxwell. The Cheers just have a poor lap here. He lost 1.5 seconds on that last lap, did Cheers. Maxwell up 10 places so far after a dreadful qualifying. He didn't make up many places in race 1. Well, he made up 10 places in race 1, but not as many as one would think he would. Yeah, he's had to come back in this race 2 as well. And he's keeping behind to Chess at the mail. They to Chess with a lot of speed. They make contact, and a bit more work has got to be done now for Maxwell because he's dropped down to 10th place.
And now he's got the 3 AM drivers behind. They were all racing closely in a pack before. Now it is a pack of 4, with De Chillis just a little bit ahead. But yeah, Maxwell now is under a little bit of pressure from these 3 drivers.
Thanks for apparently Nick Madsen. Oh, Nick Madsen thought that we were changing servers, which was a bit odd. But yeah, we're using the heat format now, so that is why he didn't take part. So I hope Nick still wins the championship, because that'd be a terrible way to lose it. So yeah, unfortunately, Nick not taking part in this race 2 of the evening. Will be back, I'm sure, though, for Interlagos to finish off that championship. Of course, their second place a while back, I think, in the Porsche Cup Championship, the British GT series we had in the Porsche Cup division. He lost out to Brendan Crone in that season, but looking to go one better in this car this season. Schlacks, meanwhile, he's been able to keep behind Nielsen for a little while. The gap down to 3.5 tenths of a second, however. Hopefully Schlacks fights this. Remember, Schlacks and Nielsen out of the championship. They're not fighting for the championship. They only joined last meeting, so they've got nothing to lose. Hopefully they put everything on the line for these last 13 minutes and really give us a race of the season.
Absolutely, only 3 tenths separating the 2. Alps just dropping out for a moment, but he's back with us now. Up through Eau Rouge and Radion they go, then down onto the Camel Straight. And now Nielsen is getting all of the draft power in the world. Already the gap down to 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths, down in towards the braking zone. He's just not close enough. So you'll have to wait a little bit longer then. Through the come they go. And now down towards Bruchel. Down the hill, tricky braking zone this one, especially in these cars. They like to understeer. And it's a very tricky corner to get right. Stick to the left. Through No Name. Down towards Puon they're going to go. Nielsen right on the back of Schlacks now, riding aboard with Nielsen. Through Puon. Get all up over the outside curb. Don't touch the inside one, it would definitely spin you out. Get up over the outside curb as well. He hit it a bit too hard actually. Did Nielsen, got a bit loose, but it hasn't affected him too much. Through, yes they go, ooh, a little bit loose there, had to correct just a little bit. And now through these 2 corners at the bottom of the circuit. And now they're going to head up towards Blanchemont. This could be another overtaking opportunity for Nielsen now in towards Blanchemont and the bus stop.
To be honest, into Lake Coombe didn't just look like Nielsen was sparring. Sparring. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
I don't use that one often, but it's in the locker. Nielsen around the outside of Schlacks, and he's got the inside for the next corner as well, and he's ahead. And that all happened pretty quickly, got himself in range on the brakes, And it is Kevin Nielsen, who's leading this race. And it's looking like it could be 4 out of 4 for him. Meanwhile, though, Schlack's going to the outside. He's feeling himself back with a chance here. The run into O'Reilly's isn't going to be long enough, although he might be able to put his rival offline. Questionable whether you want to do this or not. You at least want a clear view of the corner, so you can absolutely nail the launch. Now they'll pick up a 1x here if they want to. Anything a little bit cautious there from Schlack. It's just affected his run through Razia. And the gap opens up to 0.2 of a second. Nielsen going defensive right to the inside. I think Schlack's got good straight line speed, but he's not in range for an overtake. We'll see if he can stay within the draft range now and go for an attack into Lakeem on the next lap. But Kevin Nielsen, what a driver. He's up into the lead from 10th place on the grid. And he's up into the lead within the first 2/3 of the race.
Absolutely, he's doing a fantastic job, is the Dane. And yeah, I think he might just extend that gap a little bit. He was a lot closer to Schlack's on the last lap than Schlack's is to him. Bob Humphrey down in 17th, and he is having a battle with Vince Harley there. Harley trying to go all the way around the outside. That is a great move from him. Is it over yet though? Into the vortex of danger goes Bob Humphrey, and he's managed to make it work. Are they going to make a little bit of contact? Not quite. Very close to though. Humphrey's going to run wide here. No, he's not. He's saving his incident points. He's got a good run, but side by side through Pool One's going to be tough. He's got to watch out for Correa and Wadsworth behind. Still side by side. What? Humphrey has just managed to get past around the outside of Pool One.
Lovely move there from Bob Humphrey. Up into 16th place. Only up, he's up 6 places to be fair from his start, Humphrey. Is there a chance of catching up any more? He'll probably need to rely on an instant. Correa under pressure from Wadsworth. Has Wadsworth gone down around the outside there? No, just sticking in behind is Wadsworth for now. We are getting into the territory now where you might see a couple of drivers peel off into the pits to serve their drive-through penalties for too many incidents. Ferrari versus Lara. Chester back to the pits. That's a shame, and that's not good news for Pro Academy Sim Sports either, who were trying to challenge for the team's championship. Probably not going to happen anymore. That Ferrari keeping behind Lara. He needs to try to get this 5th position if he can. In fact, has he just gained that position? Ferrari has actually. He was 0.6 of a second faster than Lara on that last lap, so he got past at Les Source and up into 5th place and taking more points out of Nick Madsen's championship lead. Can he hold off the Luxembourg driver? Yes, he can. Let's see, Lakeem.
Oh, this is a nice little train here. This is Bruno just behind the Chillis, just the bottom of the top 10, 10th position. Got Maxwell just ahead of these 4. But yeah, this is a nice little 5-car train, very loose. Was harassed just out of the column there. And through Raquel they go in toward Nolan Corner. Lovely little train of cars that they've got going on, and I can see this heating up with just over 7 minutes to go.
Any position is valuable. Copeland in 12th place though. And yeah, I was speaking to Kev Copeland as well a few days ago, and I think he's probably going to take it quite carefully just to win the championship. Cares quite a bit about the championship, does Kev. I think he would become the first driver in Apex Racing League history to win 2 amateur championships, which shouldn't really be possible because he should really get into the pros, but obviously they are 2 different championships, the GT Championship and the Porsche Cup Championship. And Copeland hasn't necessarily been the fastest driver all season long. His qualifying score isn't great, but when it comes to results, he has put in some brilliant meetings and holds a big lead in the championship. Kroon is making a good appearance here. This is his first meeting in In Apex Racing League history, he's never raced for in this championship before, or under Apex Racing League before, and he's giving a good account of himself. Up one position, 12th place in race 1, currently running in 11th in race 2. Out in the lead, Nielsen's still leading the way, 0.8 of a second ahead of Schlack, so he's got a little bit of a draft, but just looks like that opportunity has gone a begging for Schlacks now. It'll be surely a mistake from Kevin Nielsen if he's going to still win this race.
Absolutely, he is increasing that gap at the top there. Laubscher dropping back just a bit, 3 seconds between himself and Schlacks now. Oh, and he's got to watch out for the sliding driver behind of Lund. Just a few seconds down the road and catching. And of course we know how fast Lund can be. So yeah, he's got to watch out a little bit behind. Who is that? That is Brun and De Chillis. So De Chillis has just been overtaken then for 10th position.
Yeah, and this is how he managed to do it, Kroon. This was everyone actually. This was Daniel Payer, and this was a battle with. But that's actually how he's gone spinning off. So that was with Kev Copeland actually. That's why Payham is down the order, and that was Bob Humphrey as well, just sliding past him at Lake Q. Shame for the Austrian there.
This is learning national flags with Sam Fitzpatrick.
Yep.
An Apex
Quite good
Racing
on
TV
bike, actually.
exclusive. That's a brilliant move there. What a move. That's how Kroon got past the Chillis.
Wolf just ahead of Manzano still. Manzano has had the edge on pace really on Wolf. They both had bad starts, both quite cautious on the start. But they've been very evenly matched ever since. Having to go defensive now is Kroon and De Chillis. He's really been in the wars tonight, battling with everyone. Oh, Kroon is wide. Is he going to rejoin? He has. And moving through was Copeland, championship leader. That's a few extra points for him. That's going to be, I think, 5 extra points right there for him. The 177 is all over the place, though, of De Chillis. That looked like it was Kroon's fault, to be honest, but I don't think there was really anything he could have done. Just outbreak himself, and you know, you got to get back on the circuit eventually.
Yeah, he probably could have. It's a bit of an unsafe rejoin if you ask me, and then De Chillis just trying to drive through poor old Ivan Harasta. But it looks like none of them really lost too many positions. It was more massive amounts of time lost. But let's see. From De Chillis, he's thinking, yes, I've got the position, bang. No, you don't. Turns around and is now face to face with the 263 driver of Ivan Harasta. But yeah, I would put that as an unsafe rejoin there. Definitely, probably should have cut the bus stop at that point.
Well, we all know. Were you a fan actually of in 2008 of Formula One, Dane? The Hamilton cutting the chicane malarkey. Were you around for that, or?
I want to say yes. I probably did watch it, but I was also 5 years old, so I probably don't remember it.
Were you really 5? I was 7. So yeah, you would have been 5. Oh, you're making me feel old. Honestly, 7-year-old Sam, outraged. I can vouch for Marco Barbanera in the commentary box. He would have been crying his eyes out as well when Hamilton got that silly 25-second penalty for cutting his chicane. Apparently Marco was 19 and very upset.
Who's feeling old now?
Nice from F1 actually to post the 2008 highlights. I actually get a little bit sad now when I see Massa. I used to be a big Hamilton fan, but I get sad now seeing Massa in tears. Anyway, here's a Brazilian. There you go, that's a segue. It was all relevant. Manzano leading the way in the amateur group. We're on to the last lap though. I don't think we're going to see a 2008 Brazil finish in this one, unless, let's see, Nielsen could make a mistake. if it poured down with rain at this point, I mean, that would blow it out of the water quite literally. Seeing that iRacing hasn't modelled rain yet.
I was about to say, if it started pouring down with rain, I'd be very concerned. But we are getting a Brazil finish in the ARA Porsche Cup Championship at Interlagos. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we do get one. We might not get one at Spa, but we might get one in Brazil, as Wadsworth retired from the race, which has promoted quite a few drivers up ahead of him now.
I think De Chillis has had to come in for a penalty for picking up too many incidents. He has been involved in a few crashes. Wadsworth actually also got 18 incidents, so he was due a penalty. Ivan Harasta with a penalty. That seemed quite deliberate. De Chillis, yes, got 16 incidents. So I think a few drivers, about 3 drivers out there. With drive-through penalties for picking up too many incidents. Oh, look at Lund. He's absolutely flying along. 1.2 seconds faster on that last lap was Casper Lund. And he's got this gap down from probably about 5 seconds at one point when he dropped back earlier on. He's got it down to just a couple of tenths of a second. It's not going to be that race win that Lund craves, which he really deserves. Nielsen sweeping them all up at the moment. Could still be a podium. Should be a good effort for him. He's just sitting a little bit too far back at the moment, though. And I think Lauscher is going to hold on to this one. It will have to be La Source, I think, if Lund is going to overtake. Meanwhile, out in the lead here is Kevin Nielsen. We'll be able to show you going into the chicane this battle for 3rd and 4th because of the alternative start-finish line. Going a bit defensive there was Lauscher. Was that necessary? Because put him offline, and maybe Lund will have a good shot at him going into La Source. They're battling in the background, but there's no battling for Kevin Nielsen, who won both races at Montreal. And remarkably, he's going to win both races at Spa as well. He approaches the line, and it's 4 from 4 for Kevin Nielsen. Who's going to finish in 3rd place? Lauscher sprinting to the line. Switzerland beats Norway, Denmark, and finishing in 3rd position. I had to think so hard about that. Manzano is going to top the amateur drivers. Again, Wolf with an issue. What's happened to Wolf? Did he come into the pits? You can't come into the pits, mate. It's not going to be served. What are you doing? You're still going to have the post-race penalty, I think.
Oh dear, oh dear. He is about to get a nice 40-second penalty added on to the end of his end of race time, as well as losing all the positions he lost by taking the penalty. So that is clearly someone who does not know their iRacing penalties.
And clearly, Dane, you are one which does know about it, which implies that you've picked up many over time.
I know a lot about the iRacing penalty system. I have much experience in that field, yes.
My favourite one is you only get disqualified for a meatball, I think, 4 laps after you finish. So you just run as many laps as you can, get yourself disqualified with the meatball, but just run as many laps as you can. Don't come into the pits and repair it. I admit that we do have a faster pair in this race, so it's like, come on, go into the pits anyway. Have we got a run out of fuel? We've got Iyengar. Well, it's downhill, it's not Road America at least. But is he going to get done as well by Trevor Humphrey? No! Trevor Humphrey couldn't catch in time. Oh, that was so close. That was 0.16 of a second, I think. So another 5 meters, and he would have had it. Turlo, has he got another excess of incidents? I can't even see him on the sheets. No, I think he's all. Is he all right? No. I think he's alright. But of course he did get a massive post-race penalty anyway last time. Did Thor. You'll finish in 22nd position again.
And once he finishes, we'll get to see where Max Wolf finishes after his penalty. Because that's not calculated by iRacing until everyone has crossed the line. The line is being crossed by everyone, and the results should come up on the screen shortly. There they are. Oh, down to 15th.
Ouch. And if he hadn't have done, you know what, I don't think going through the pits cost him, because I think he lost about 10 seconds. And he would have finished behind Mark Jones anyway, so I think Max Wolf has saved his blushes there. I think he's alright. So Kevin Nielsen, a winner once again. Actually, he got lots of incidents. Can I see this one? Oh no, the overlay is covering it up. But I'll try to have a look at that in a second. Kevin Nielsen then wins out. Michael Schlacks in second place. Then it's Ivo Lauscher, Casper Lund, Roberto Ferrari. Is the championship back on? Maybe. Fifth place for the Italian. Philip Lauer in sixth place. Then it was Daniel Manzano top of the amateur drivers. Luke Maxwell in eighth. Then it was Brian Kroon, a brilliant race 2 debut for him, beating Kev Copeland, who had a good solid day of points. Kev Copeland. Then it was Joseph Saul, Daniel Payham, Paul Doman, Mark Jones, Max Wolf with that post-race penalty, Daniel Parmalee, Ivan Harasta, Bob Humphrey, Mark Correa, Alok Iyengar, Trevor Humphrey, and Thor Tullow. Then one lap down was Andrea De Chillis and Vince Harley. The drivers who won't score points were Pete Wadsworth, John Tressida, Oscar Wilkins, Cody McKnight. And then the drivers who didn't start, we had a bunch of them. Madsen got confused by the sessions. I don't know what happened to the other ones.
Perry did as well.
Oh, really? Well,
And I don't know about anyone else.
I don't think they have anything to do with those two. Come on, guys, it's not that complex. Logan Walker in 31st, Matthias Burke in 32nd, and then it was Jack Reeve and Salvador Lon. You see, I don't think they could have all made that mistake because none of them are in like the same team. They're all on different teams, all in different discords. I don't know how that's happened. Anyway, we are going to show you a little bit of a VRS ad once again, and then we'll be back with you for the interviews here at Spa. We'll see you back in just a moment.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. We are just going to go through our interview. Thanks to VRS as well for sponsoring this broadcast. Who are we going to have a chat with next? Or first, even. It even tends to bring in someone from the Digital Motorsports broadcast. That would be funny. Schlacks will bring in Michael Schlacks, who had a great day tonight in only his second meeting in this series. Michael, congratulations. That is a 3rd position and a 2nd position. You had a lot of pace tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Sam. It was my first race that ended in a good way in the Porsche Cup, I think. I started to train with this car around 2 weeks ago, and I never used this car. It's so fun to drive, and Spa is so beautiful track. I love it, and yeah, it was a good night. This one.
Talk us through race 1. You were behind the two leaders in the two Access Esports drivers. What was their pace advantage? I mean, do you think it was like 0.2, quarter of a second? It seemed really close between you guys, but you just couldn't quite bridge that gap.
Yeah, I think they had a very good management of the tires because in the beginning I was close to them. I think I had a quite good pace, but then I did some little mistake that make a gap and make me avoid the slipstream, the draft, and then they literally go because here in these long straights is. It's very important to keep the draft and to be close to the guys in front, and that's all. I need to improve my pace in at the end of the race. That's all.
And then race 2, you were leading for a little bit. Talk us through your mentality battling with Kevin. I mean, were you thinking, this guy's going to get past me eventually, so I won't defend too much? Or what was your mentality with that one?
And through, I know that when he get close to me, I already had almost all the incidents I could get in the race. And I know that if he pushed me, I would have another instance. And I took penalty. So I know that he had passed me very soon, and I literally don't fight too much because I know he has a faster pace than me, and I was very close to get a penalty. I ended the race with only one incident left, and so it was good for what has been, but the second position was what I deserved, not more.
It's a great job from you tonight, Michael. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Thank you for the race. Thank you to the organization and to my team to be here, and that's all. Thank you very much, all.
Awesome. Thanks for having a chat with us, Michael, and we'll see you back next week.
Hello, bye-bye, guys.
Michael Schlack's there getting a couple of podiums tonight, one of your highest point scores. Also, fantastic accent for Michael. That's like a Austrian accent, I think, of course, north of Italy, I imagine, but with an Italian twang, if you will. Dane, who would you like to have a chat with?
I think I'll get someone that I've done many races with over the last few months in this car, and that is Eva Laubscher. Welcome.
Hi.
Some pretty good performances from you. You had a lot of damage pretty early on in race number 1, but it didn't seem to affect you too much down the straight, so which is a bit surprising. How did you find race number 1, first of all?
That was a difficult race. I had I had a lot of damage and no speed at the straight. The Italian guy pushed a lot at the last 3 or 4 laps, but it was a good race. I had fun and I think good times and a good pace for the car. Yeah.
And then in race number 2, you had to really battle hard with Casper Lund right at the end there. You were side by side as you crossed the line. That must have just kept you on your toes there at the end.
Yeah. I had 15 incident points, and we have 16. Then we go to the pit, and I want this third place so much. After the last race, I in Montreal I was first in the second race, and then I had an incident by myself, so stupid, and I want this place this day so much. Yeah. I fight hard.
Absolutely, we did a fantastic job to finish on the podium once
you.
again. I was speaking to one of the other commentators, Peter Mackay, the other day about the commentator's best livery award, and your livery is one of them that was mentioned a couple of times. It's a
Nice to
pretty
hear
good
that.
one.
Thank you. Yeah, I think our team make a good job with the livery, and I had the new livery was from Tam Livery. I don't know the guy. Yeah, he do a good job with the paint. Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Avery, thank you for joining us for a quick chat before we let you go. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Thank you.
Well, that was Ira Lauscher then for Positively Racing. Good job from him to finish up in third. And Sam, who do you want to have next? I think we have time for a couple more.
Yes. Who also did well? A couple of these guys didn't. Kev Copeland, we will have a chat with. Well done, Kev, for surviving, I think, that round. I was on tenterhooks. You must have been using your 8th sense out there, because the championship could have easily got away from you there. I mean, Daniel was scoring some big points, and you just needed to survive that one, and you managed to do so.
Yeah, that's right, Sam. It was definitely one for survival. That was race 1 was very much. I had Oscar coming up behind me, and he was very aggressive. And in the end, after a little while, I just thought, no, I'm not going to fight that any longer, because I've got bigger fish to fry. So I let him go. But it's so tough tonight. So tough. It's a tough track, and very close to a drive-through on both races. I think in the teens in the incidents. But I really enjoyed it though. It was some really good racing with quite a few of the guys in both rounds. Brilliant.
Talk us about the Humphrey incident, however, in race 1. It looked like he had nowhere to go. Did that cost you any straight line speed after that?
Yeah, I was definitely a little bit slower on the straights after that. But I think the guys around me also must have had a bit of damage, so it didn't cost me too much. And I'm a bit confused looking at the results after in race 2. But it looks like I finished P10, but I thought I finished 11, so I don't know whether someone got a penalty on the last lap.
Yeah, Max Wolf got a too many incidents, so he tried to serve it as well, but he didn't work like that. It was Schumacher 98. Looking at the championship, bad news. It's quite close. I think you already knew that. But so in terms of without the job score, you are well clear. So you're on 335 without the job score. With the job score though, because you've been so consistent, you got 283, which is a huge drop score to lose. Whereas Manzano only loses 10 points. So it is a 33-point difference between you two going into the final round of the championship. He will have to score big again, but you need to. You probably need a couple of top 20s.
Results. Yeah, definitely. Wow, and here's you, Sam. You said, it's pretty much sewn up for you, isn't it? Yeah, that's what you said to me in the week, didn't you? Au contraire. See, I kept telling Bob and the guys, I kept telling them that Daniel was quick and that he was a threat. And they were like, no, he's not a threat. He's not a threat. But tonight is proof that he's definitely a threat. So, yeah, I need to have 2 good rounds next week to clinch it. It's going to be really, it's going to be tight. It's going to be exciting. I'm nervous.
Well, at least if you lose,
excited.
At least if you lose, you can tell us that you told us that you might not win. So, you know that you win either way. Is there any way you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, you guys, a great championship, and the rest of the runners, some really, really good racing in there. Some slightly questionable driving I did see, but mostly, loads of good battles. The other guys were saying they had a good battles. It's a load of friendly chat and banter, so really good. And my dear wife Lucy for putting up with all my rubbish and sim racing and not seeing me night on night practicing. So thanks.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, Kev, and I'll see you at Interlagos.
Bye bye.
So that was Kev Copeland there for Pro Academy Sim Sports, and I think that is all we have time for. So unfortunately, apologies to any of the drivers we didn't have a chat with, but that is our broadcast slot over. Dane, one more round to go. Madsen, I've updated the score sheet, so again, it's kind of closed up, so it's a good day for the drivers second place in the championship. It's going to be Madsen versus Ferrari in the last round of the season, because Madsen has got now a 30-point advantage over Ferrari. And of course, he can't drop a score, can Madsen. Copeland's got the luxury that he's got a very good drop score. Madsen hasn't got a drop score because he's already missed round 1 of the championship. So it could turn either way. Madsen needs to finish both races, and that's not turning up for race 2. It has really put this championship in jeopardy.
Absolutely, for both championships. It's going to be very close heading into the final round at Interlagos. Always a good race at Interlagos. I'm really looking forward to that. Should be a good one. I can't wait.
Definitely. Thanks to Apex Racing Academy. Check out Apex Racing Academy. Go there. We haven't really talked about them all day, so apologies to that, but they do some very good setups from some of the best drivers in the world. For example, the Porsche Cup, which all these drivers have access to use. They have Porsche Cup setups and also data packs, so you can look at the onboard laps and the telemetry from some professional drivers. Kevin Ellis does these data packs, who has questionably won a race. He may have even legitimately won a race as well in the Porsche Esports Super Cup series, so he is very competitive. So you certainly do check out Apex Racing Academy. That's apexracingac.com. Check out all of that stuff. Loads of cars as well, from single seaters, prototypes, GT cars, and absolutely everything on that site. Also thanks to Virtual Racing School, and thanks to SDK Gaming as well, who provide this fantastic overlay for us. And you can get a similar overlay which you can customize as well by going to sdkgaming.co.uk, and you can get yourself a subscription. You can also get a month free as well, a month free trial or a 2-week free trial, so available for yourself. So certainly do check out their products as well to get a cool overlay, just as we do. We'll be back with you then on Apex Racing TV for the final round of the championship next week. It'll be Interlagos to round us off. See if Madsen and Copeland can take their championships. Thanks to you for tuning in. Thanks to the drivers as well for putting on such a fantastic show. Please do leave a like on this video. Subscribe to Apex Racing TV, and also check out our social media as well at Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. But for now, from me, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Dane Baird, and from Marco Barbier, thanks for tuning in. Tune in next time at Interlagos. Can Madsen secure the championship? We will find out in a couple of races' time. See you then.